Let's talk about equations. So first we have variables. In math, we'll often use a variable or a letter to represent an unknown quantity. So you'll usually see us use x, y, z. Those are the most common ones. If we need more, we'll expand to other letters. And we can use these variables as placeholders in our math statements. So might be a question first, what's the difference between an expression and an equation? So an expression would be like x plus 7 or 3 minus 2 times square root of x plus y. You'll notice all of these expressions don't have an equal sign. That's what makes them an expression. So the expression of x plus 7 represents the value of some unknown number x plus 7. But if we don't know what x is, we can't actually plug it in, so we don't know what this expression will be. So it can have different values depending on x. But then we switch to equations, which are much more common. So like here are some different equations. Notice all of the equations have an equal sign. So in this example, the equation x plus 7 equals 12 refers to a specific value of x for which if we take that x value and we add 7, we'll get 12. So there's actually only one x value that will let this be true, and that would be 5, because 5 plus 7 is 12. So x has to be 5. So we don't get very advanced in this class, but we do have to be able to solve a very basic equation. So there's two basic rules. First, that anything you do to one side of the equation, you have to do to the other side of the equation. And our goal is to try and get the variable x by itself. To do this, we'll usually do the order of operations in reverse. When you solve the equation, it works better if you do the order of operations in reverse. So we do addition and subtraction first, then multiplication and division, then exponents, then parentheses. So let's try solving each of these. First, x plus 8 equals 15. Well, if I want x by itself, I just have to minus 8 from both sides. And that's going to give me x equals 15 minus 8 is 7. For this next one, we have 3x equals 18. So I want to get x by itself. Right now it's 3 times x, so I need to undo it. So the opposite of times is divide. So I'll just divide both sides by 3. And I get x equals 16. Let's come over here to x divided by 4 equals 12. Well, this is x divided by 4, so the opposite is times by 4 times by 4. So x will equal 48. Now the rest of these are going to be at least two-step problems. So we have 3x minus 6 equals 12. So let's get rid of this minus 6 first. So let's add 6 to both sides. So we get 3x equals 12. And then this is 3 times x, so we could divide both sides by 3, and I get x equals 4. Coming back over here to 4x plus 17 equals 24, well, we want to get rid of the plus 17 first, so we minus 17, we get 4x equals 7. So this is 4 times x, so I would need to divide both sides by 4, and I get x equals 7 over 4. This is a form of an equation we might have to solve in statistics quite often. So we have x minus 42 over 10 equals 1.75. It's important to remember that fractions are a grouping symbol, so it's like you have parentheses around the top. So let's get rid of the divide by 10 first. Let's multiply both sides by 10. So then I have x minus 42 equals 17.5. Then I can get rid of the minus 42 by adding 42 to both sides. And I get x equals 59.5. This next problem, 2/3 x minus 10 equals 2. So I want to get rid of the minus 10 first. So I'll add 10. So we get 2/3 x equals 12. Now this is 2/3 times x, so that means I need to divide both sides by 2/3. Just make sure when you put this into your calculator you use a lot of parentheses, so do 12 divided by parentheses 2/3. And if you do that, you'll get that x equals 18. Only one more. Coming over here, we have the square root and we have a divide by 2. We should get rid of that divide by 2 first. So let's times both sides by 2. So we get the square root of x minus 5 equals 6. To get rid of a square root, we have to square both sides. So that square root will be gone. And we get x minus 5 equals 6 squared is 36. And then we just have to add 5 and add 5. So we get x equals 41. So again, as you solve the equations, we'll keep them pretty simple, just like this. Just make sure whatever you do to both sides, and you're trying to get x by itself.